In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the final part of the reboot trilogy, it feels as though Lara's character has finally caught up with the day-to-day murder that being a video game hero requires. She's angry, confused, poisoned by an apocalyptic level of guilt, and it makes it much more believable to think that, with the end of the world very much nigh, she'd have no problem jumping out of some ferns and slitting a throat. This time the action takes place in Peru, so picture rustic towns, jungle, lots of natural water features, all the better for showing off her new swimming abilities, tombs, puzzles, and lots of wildlife to slaughter in the name of crafting. Honestly, you spend an entire childhood sponsoring a panda through the World Wildlife Fund, and then as an adult you're chasing llamas and shooting arrows at frogs. The game starts with the classic move of taking all your gear away and then making you get it back. This involves fighting some leopards, which seems like a bold early move, forcing you to take on such a formidable predator, but the game slightly fumbles the delivery a bit by grabbing control to show you a cutscene right when your blood is up. Luckily though, not long after, the training wheels come off and you're into crafting and the basics of guerrilla warfare. Swappable outfits are always a nice touch, but when it's the first thing you craft from the pelt of a freshly killed leopard, you've got to be a bit worried. As well as making questionable fashion choices, Shadow's Lara has been taking lessons from Batman, and has a habit of stringing Trinity soldiers from trees like unconscious fairy lights.
What are we even looking for?
The stealth combat still doesn't feel as slick as something like Assassin's Creed or even Batman Arkham Asylum, and when you grab a gun, it feels clumsy. It's best when you give in to the game's preference for stealth. Slather on a full body mud pack and pick the generic, safely predictable mercenaries off from a safe vantage point.
Me, why not?
Story-wise, Lara is dealing with having made a huge archaeological faux pas, so her friend Jonah has been promoted from annoying sidekick. Lara might have evolved enough to be a darker, tougher character, but the girl has zero jokes. It's up to Jonah to provide the comedy relief and to give Lara an ally and connection to humanity as you arrive in the towns, or hubs, that dot the world and interact with the locals.
Juan, ¿pedirás algo o solo te vas a quedar?
The developers said the hubs would be important places, but the ones we saw were just a small taste. There was a local that needed help with some pillagers, a few anecdotes that hinted to the location of treasures, and a market to trade resources for weapons, ammo bags, or new clothes. Of course, you can't become the Tomb Raider without monuments and caverns to desecrate. One of the more puzzle-focused experiences in Peru involved a huge rotating mechanism that was part of an ancient trial. And this is where Lara's new skill of rappelling down from walls she's hooked into with her climbing axe came in handy. So far, so Tomb Raider. The game did grab our attention when towards the end of the preview we came across a massacre of Trinity soldiers. And we got a sneak peek at some vaguely bestial creature with a haunting hiss and a talent for gutting generic NPCs. After 3 or 4 hours in the jungle, we're much more excited about the game. It still lacks some of the gloss that made Uncharted Lost Legacy such a looker, and it still has a nasty habit of wresting control away from you right where things were at their most exciting, but the jungle playground, child sacrifice and monster vibes means that there's hope Lara will end this trilogy with a bang rather than a llama's whisper. So that's what we think of Shadow of the Tomb Raider so far. Let us know your opinions in the comments below. Click the boxes on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle to subscribe for more gaming news, reviews, previews and features right here on GameRazor Plus.